says, and I will serve in that day the land of Goshen, in which my people dwell, that no swarms of flies shall be there, to the end thou mayest know that I am the Lord in the midst of the earth. My brothers and sisters, take heart. Take heart today. Be encouraged and know that our God is the same yesterday, today, and forever. And to know that the things he did of old, he is able to do them today. But we must trust and obey. We must listen. We must pray, and we must seek him first. You know, God's hands are not tied in these economical times. God's hands are not tied when you go through struggle and strife. God wants to bless you, but in order to be blessed, you must first believe, my brothers and sisters, and you must learn to trust and obey. Our God tells us that there are special promises afforded those that will trust in the Lord. Psalms 31:19 says, "Oh, how great is thy goodness, which thou hast laid up for them that fear thee, which thou hast wrought for them that trust in thee before the sons of men." Brothers and sisters, let's trust God. Trust him and believe and know that he is your righteousness, and know that he is your source that creates the resources. So brothers and sisters, please look to God. I was just talking to someone today, and that person and myself realized that we can't look to man. We've got to look to God, because looking to man is fertile. It's futile. So when we look to God, things happen. Prayer changes things. We don't pray to man. We pray to our God. And remember, keep in front of you Almighty God. Keep on both sides of you love and kindness. Keep behind you all your fears, doubts, and failures. Keep above you and open to serve all mankind. And you will make an impact in someone's life. And there is a way out of your mess. And it's JESUS. God loves you, my brothers and sisters.
Where can you buy a brand new Nissan with a lifetime warranty? Kingston Pike. Hey, folks, Gerald Anderson with Ted Russell Nissan. You heard it right. Every new Ted Russell Nissan comes with a lifetime warranty, and that's a long, long time. Ted Russell Nissan on Kingston Pike.
Good morning, and welcome to AM 1380 WYSH and Ask Your Neighbor. Ask Your Neighbor can also be heard and seen on our website, WYSHradio.com. And if you are in Anderson, Rome, or Morgan County and have Comcast cable, you can watch Ask Your Neighbor on BBB TV Channel 12. Ask Your Neighbor is the program where you call in and do just that. Ask Your Neighbor. Do you have a comment? Do you have a problem? Or do you have a question? Then call in and ask your neighbor. 865-457-1380 or toll free at 877-711-4005. And for those of you that might be listening or watching on the internet, you can email from our website, WYSHradio.com. Just click on the Contact Us button and email your questions. Now sit back and listen as listeners throughout East Tennessee and the entire world answer your questions on Ask Your Neighbor on BBB TV 12 and AM 1380 WYSH.
Good morning, everybody. Here we are. Ask Your Neighbor. It's nice of you to be here with us this morning. And as we've been telling you, friend Con Hunley's back in the studio with us. Been a while, I guess a year since last year.
I guess it has been.
How are you, sir?
I'm good, Ron. It's great to be with you this morning. And once again, I want to tell you how much I appreciate you guys. How much I appreciate y'all playing my stuff and kind of keeping my music alive. I do appreciate it a bunch.
It's our pleasure to do it. You know, I've said this before. You know, good music it ages well. You know what I mean? You can go back and listen to your stuff or Patsy Cline stuff. Some stuff sounds as good today as it did when you recorded them. You're still recording. It ain't like you stopped. When's the last time you've been in the studio?
Oh, it's been a while. we've been working on some new stuff, but I don't know whether I'll get back in the studio or not, but we'll see. I've got some stuff available, and I got some writers that are prodding me to get back in and do their songs. But I'm very appreciative of the fact that my material is held up pretty well.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And I'm thankful for that. I've always been fortunate to be able to get really top drawer songs from a lot of the top drawer writers
Sure.
In and around Nashville, and the music kind of holds up pretty good. It really has.
You've done the stuff with Bill Gaither and some of the things he did. How'd you get hooked up with him?
Well, it's a long story. No, I had a friend of mine, Fred Langley, who recently passed. He became friends with Gaither, and so occasionally he would invite Gaither to come to his house and stay when they would get ready for one of the concerts or whatever in the area, like in Gatlinburg or what have you.
Sure.
And so he was coming in to stay and with Fred Langley, and Fred asked me if I would like to come down and join the gang. The whole bunch of us went down. Fred Hurst, Dina, Ray and Lucy Hand, just a whole bunch of our friends,
Sure.
went down and we became friends with Bill Gaither. And he, before I ever met him, he had sent a message to me on my phone that I didn't understand the name. I had to get. He said, "Guys, Bill Gaither, just real, He said, "I just want you to know I love your music." He said, "I just love your voice. He said, your voice has got a tear in it." And I didn't know who.
You didn't know who it was.
I didn't know who had left the message. So I kept asking people. I said, "Well, I can't understand. I can't understand what he's saying." And finally, one person said, "Well, that sounded like he said Bill Gaither." And I said, "What?" He said, "Bill Gaither." And then I had the pleasure of meeting him down at the Langleys and Fred and Faye, and we sang a bunch of gospel music. And I was going to do a gospel album.
Mm-hmm.
And I asked him, I said, "Would you be interested in coming in and singing with a song with me on the gospel album?" He said, "Sure."
That's cool.
I'd be happy to. So he came in and we did it. Peace in the Valley was the song. And we've been great friends ever since.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, he's a super nice guy, extremely talented, unbelievable.
As a musician, or as a business person, or as all of the above?
All the above. He's a very astute business person.
He seems to be.
Oh yeah. I'm sure he probably don't know what he's worth, but which I don't know how astute that is, but
he probably has an idea.
Yeah, but he's a great musician. He can hear parts. He can hear notes. He's, I think he's got perfect pitch. So he's fabulous. He's fabulous. He's very hands-on too.
Really?
He runs the show.
That's a lot of folks that are successful like that.
Yeah.
A lot of times they do.
Yeah.
You're like all the rest of us in East Tennessee. We all grew up on gospel music.
Oh yeah.
What was the first instrument you played?
Guitar.
Really? You started on guitar?
I started on the guitar. I was a huge Merle Travis, Chet Atkins fan.
Oh boy.
My mother and dad bought me an old used Stella guitar for Christmas. I was 9 years old.
Yeah.
And the strings are about, TV.
Yeah.
Not that far off the neck. So it was hard.
Break your fingers.
My hands weren't very big at the time. But that's, and I learned how to play Wildwood Flower. And then I kind of graduated to a little more difficult songs. Of course, I Am a Pilgrim, Windy and Warm, Freight Train, a lot of the Chet Atkins stuff. But yeah, I loved it. I love thumb style picking.
Did you ever meet or play with? I know you probably met Chet in the record business. You're in Nashville down when he was. But did you ever pick or anything with Chet?
Yeah. He used to have a golf tournament here in Knoxville and down at Dean Hill Country Club.
Yeah.
And so I was invited, obviously, to go play in the golf tournament. And then they had a concert at night, and he and Roy Clark and Perry Como and God, there were so many people, that were there, and I got to do the concert and what have you. And then when I got an offer from Warner Brothers in 1977, 76, 77, all of a sudden 5 major labels wanted to sign me, and RCA was one of them.
At that time, Chet was running the show too.
Oh yeah, he was the big dog at RCA, and so I went down and met him and talked to him. And hindsight, I probably should have signed with RCA because they were a very well established country label at that time, and Warner Brothers had just opened their country division in Nashville.
Yeah.
But I was a broke musician country boy, and Warner Brothers offered me a little more money than, and I took it. But I liked Norrell Wilson. I loved him. We were kindred souls, and he was the A&R and producer at Warner Brothers, and so I really struck a great relationship with him, and subsequently wound up signing with Warner Brothers. But we had a great time.
You're talking about Roy Clark was at that golf tournament. He's one heck of a guitar player too, isn't he, Roy Clark?
Yeah, and funny.
Yeah.
I mean, that guy was so funny.
There was a reason he was on Hee Haw, I reckon.
Yeah, I used to, of course, Mickey Mantle. I used to get to go to the Mickey Mantle golf tournament out in Afton, Oklahoma, and Mickey loved Roy Clark.
Really?
I mean, he absolutely. They were like brothers, and so Roy Clark would come and play. He'd get Stan Musial up to play the harmonica.
Oh, I didn't know Stan could play a harmonica.
Oh, Lord. He could wear it out.
Wow.
And Roy Clark would get Stan Musial so tickled on stage, he'd get to where he couldn't play, get out of breath. He couldn't play, couldn't stop laughing.
What great memories, man, to have.
Yeah. I remember going to that golf tournament. The first time I was invited, and I got invited through, and it sounds like I'm name dropping, and I guess I am, but I got invited by Coach Royal, who was at the University of Texas, the football coach. He and I became really good friends, and he said, "Would you like to go play in the Mickey Mantle?" I said, "Are you crazy?"
Yeah, of course I would.
And so I got invited that way, but when I got there, I met David and Mick Jr., Mickey's 2 sons, and they said, well, we'd like to play with you in this practice round if you want to. And I said, oh, I'd love it. I'd love it. So I had a great time with the guys, and so we came in after the golf and went into the lodge there. And it was a huge, big old open room, and they had the check-in desk and all that stuff. And then off this side had this, bar, and everybody was, all the old baseball players. I think Edith Slaughter was there. Just a whole bunch of baseball players.
Yeah.
Were sitting around, and so Mick Jr., he said, "Come on, I want you to meet Dad."
Oh, wow.
So I said, oh okay. And so he took me around there. When I got up to the table, there's probably 8 people around the big old table up there, and Mick introduced me, and he said, Mickey, I said, "It's great to meet you, Mickey." I said, "I'm a huge fan. I watched you when I was a kid growing up, and just love to watch you play, and I'm really proud to meet you." And he said, "Well, they tell me you're a singer." And I said, "Yes, sir." I said, "I am." And he said, "Well, he said, do you know any Hank Williams songs? And here's right in front of all these people. It's open, you know. It's a big lodge. I mean, it's open. And I said, yeah. He said, do you know I'm so lonesome I could cry? And I said, yeah, sure do. He said, sing it. And I'm sitting there. And I'm looking around, and I thought, what am I going to do?
Is there a piano somewhere?
Yeah, nothing. I looked around, what am I going to do? I said, right now? Sing it right now? He said, yeah, right now. Sing it.
How old of a guy was Mickey Mantle at this point?
He was probably maybe 60.
Oh, okay.
In his 60s.
Right.
So I just broke out, did you hear that lonesome whippoorwill? And you could hear it. I mean, that's, you know, all of a sudden the clatter and the drinks and all that stuff quieting down. Well, I just buttered it out. And he absolutely loved it. Mickey loved it. And
you endeared yourself to him right there.
Oh,
sure.
From that moment on, he and I were inseparable for the evening.
That's awesome.
If I sung that song one time, I bet you I sang it 50 times before the night was over. And we left. He and I left in the back of a limo, headed up to the lodge up there to our rooms, and I was still singing it. But,
that's awesome.
From that moment on, he and I were really good friends. And the last time I saw him was at Troy Aikman's golf tournament, and I was going to one green, and he's going to another tee, and I hadn't seen him in a while. And that was when he was starting to get sick, you know, and everything. And hey, Con. So I just dropped the clubs and everything, went over and grabbed him, hugged him, and it was a heck of an experience. It really was.
Your business has afforded you to get to meet a lot of cool people, hasn't it?
Yeah, I've been really fortunate. I told him I played everywhere from the outhouse to the White House.
That's true too.
It is. So I've been very, very fortunate and met a lot of absolutely wonderful people, and in the music and sports business, and it's been a lot of fun.
Have you ever just been such a big fan of somebody when you meet them? You know, you get a little nervous.
You just mentioned Chet Atkins a while ago. The first time I actually met him, I was trying to shake. He was my hero.
Yeah,
he was my hero. And the first time I met him, I went to shake hands. I missed his hand, and we kept, you know, jostling to get. And finally, he just reached out and grabbed my hand and put it in his. But yeah, that was, you know, he was one of my heroes, and that was a great experience to get to talk to him. And as I said, hindsight's always 20/20, but you know, I probably should have signed with the RCA, but
it'd been a slower start, but who knows? But you know, everybody can look back and second guess.
Yeah, I don't.
You did pretty good.
Yeah,
with what you did.
I learned a long time ago. You don't live in the rearview mirror.
No.
You know, I keep on moving.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
When what led you to play piano? You started out on guitar.
Started on guitar, and my folks bought an old used upright piano. Of course, we sang in church.
Yeah.
And my sister, they wanted her to take piano lessons, Beth.
Mm-hmm.
They wanted her to take piano lessons, so they bought this old used upright piano. And there was a guy in the neighborhood, Fred Harbin, who could read music and play piano, and he was gonna give her lessons. And so they started their lessons, and when she wasn't on the piano, a song came out, and this was like 59, 60.
Okay.
An old song, Ray Charles song called What Did I Say?
Yeah.
And I just loved that intro on that piano.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when she wasn't on the piano either learning or taking a lesson or practicing or whatever, I was in there just one note and, you know, one finger hunt and peck, you know.
Yeah.
And I kept messing around until I finally learned that intro to What Did I Say? And from that moment on, it was my primary instrument.
Came natural?
Yeah. Well, I don't know how natural it came, but you know, I had my own own style kind of playing it, but And so from that moment on, it was my primary instrument. I could better express myself singing if I sang with the piano than I could with the guitar.
Last time you were here, we were talking about, I told you needed to do a duet with Chris Stapleton because you guys both have that soul in your voice. You said somebody told you that you're just a little bit before your time with that blues mixed with country.
Yeah, two or three people have told me that, my buddy Ray Hand, he told me, he said you were probably just before your time. He said because now. He said
it wasn't accepted really good.
Oh no, it was not. Yeah. And I would catch it every once in a while, by being bluesy, kind of gray around the edges, and but that's just the way I felt the song.
Yeah.
And all the people, I say all the people, the artists and the people in the music business liked it. But they were afraid of it.
Absolutely.
Because they were afraid radio wouldn't play it. Mm-hmm. If radio didn't play it, you didn't have any sales, you didn't have any requests. So, the business was always at the forefront.
Yeah.
Even above and beyond the creativity, you know. Yeah, so, but I'm glad I did what I did when I did it, and I'm glad I remained true to myself. And
there's a bunch of us that are glad that you did.
Yeah, well,
I promise you. Well, a bunch of us that love your music and always have.
I appreciate that.
But today, in today's country music, it's not even really recognizable from what the standards that they held you guys to. Just like you were bluesy in some of yours, and they criticized you for it today.
Yeah.
You got artists like Stapleton and some of these other guys that they're making a living out of it and doing it well too.
Yeah. Well, I mean, as my mother used to say, glory in their spunk. I'm glad they're doing it.
More power to them.
Yeah, I'm glad they're making it. I'm glad they're selling like they're selling, and I'm glad they're being more widely accepted. I can remember first time I did the Opry, we went down, and of course I had a sax player and harmonica player in my band.
Yeah.
And they played parts. They could sound like a horn section.
Yeah.
Because they played the harmonica player Jelly Roll could play notes, and so. Some of the little up-tempo stuff is.
Yeah, he carried the part of the melody.
So, so first time I did the Opry, Mr. Acuff, they didn't allow any wind instruments, so they didn't allow saxophone or anything.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what they thought a harmonica was, but they didn't allow saxophones on this. So, and I thought, this is. Kenny's been a rest his soul, Ken Jackson. He and I were together since 1970.
Wow.
So and he was an integral part of the band. And so I thought, how are we going to do this? Because I'm not going to let this opportunity go by. We're going to do the Opry, but I'm not. Kenny, we've got to get Kenny on stage.
Absolutely.
Some way or other. So we came up with this cockamamie idea. We'll just put a guitar on him. Okay, we'll strap a guitar on him, get one of the staff guitars down there, put it on him, turn the volume down, let him stand there and act like he's playing. Okay?
Okay.
So we go out and I'm doing my song. Well, here comes a sound tech from off the side of the stage. Comes running out there. They can't hear Kenny's guitar. So
don't plug it in.
They come out there and they start turning the volume, the knobs up. Kenny smacked her hand and said, "No." So that's how we managed to get him on stage at the Grand Ole Opry.
I'm sure he appreciated
that. He did, and we had a lot of fun with it.
Once in a lifetime opportunity for most people.
Absolutely.
What did it feel like going out on the Grand Ole Opry? You grew up listening to it.
Scared to death.
Were you really?
Absolutely scared to death. Yeah. When you walk out there in the circle, and going there the first time and meeting all the people who were there, little Jimmy Dickens and Porter Wagner and all the people, the stalwarts of, and Mr. Acuff, Roy Acuff, all the people who, Mitty Pearl, who were the stalwarts of the Grand Ole Opry when I was a kid growing up, that's overwhelming enough. But once you walk out on stage, it's just a feeling. It's unbelievable. Although I'd been in front of crowds, before, it's just a different feeling. There's an aura there. There's a feel. There's a soul. It's just different. And all of a sudden, your voice goes up about, well, it's up about 3 octaves,
Really? Just get you that uptight.
Yeah. And I had some vibrato that I don't normally have, because you're scared. But it's quite an experience. I haven't been able to do it in a long time. I guess it's kind of going on. It's gone past me now, but hopefully maybe before I kick the bucket, I'll get to do the Opry again.
That'd be awesome. That'd be great. Golf, you play a lot of golf. Again, last time
Let me just say I'm out there a lot.
What got you into that? Was that just something to release stress? Was something you did just that friends did? You do it growing up? What?
Well, I had a friend of mine, Johnny Hollifield, who had taken up golf, and he loved it. And I was 27 years old before I played my first game, and he took me out to play one time, and I remember I shot 126.
I don't guess that's good.
No, it's not too good at all. But he took me out to play, and he had another old set of clubs there, and I just got the bug. Once you go play, and you start to realize some of the geometrical mathematics of the game, where you put spin on the ball, you cut it, you draw it. When you start thinking about it, it's pretty involved. And to watch these guys play like they're playing today, Scotty Scheffler and some of these guys, it's unbelievable.
You any good?
Yeah. Oh no. I did get down. I did get down to a 6 handicap at one time.
That's pretty good.
But now it's probably about a 13 or 14. I just, you get old, you can't swing. I remember one time Coach Royal told me, he said, young flat billies out there swinging and needed to go through. He said, if I swung that hard, every bone in my body would fall out. So, but I still enjoy it. I enjoy playing with people who I can compete against, who are basically the same, ability.
It's good just to be outside and doing stuff too.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean? Keep
I just
busy.
enjoy the competitive edge of it. Plus, you're playing the course, you're playing your buddies, and you're playing yourself.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of fun.
You ever had a hole in one?
I've had 5.
5?
Yeah, I've had.
That's
5.
pretty good.
Yeah, I've had 5. There's a lot of really good golfers. Never had one hole in one, but I've had 5.
That's all par 3s?
To be honest with you, yes, they were.
That's okay. You take it.
I couldn't reach a par 4.
My friend J.J. Dower up in La Follette was playing in a tournament where they had one of those, if you hit the hole in one. Anyway, he won like $100,000. He hit a hole in one. First time in his life he ever did it, and he won $100,000.
Yeah.
So it's like,
we had, we used to have one of the biggest golf tournaments around East Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
We filled 2 courses, 2 tee times.
Yeah.
It was big, and we always gave there for a while we gave a car away, and then we started giving $10,000 on holes in ones, and of course we'd have prizes for closest to the pin and this, that, and the other. But I've had 5, and I remember them all vividly, and I've had 2 at Whittles. I had one at Lost Creek. I had one at Holston. And I had one at Three Ridges.
When you write right now, like I'm skipping around. I got music in my head and I got golf in my head. But
there's some good golf songs out there.
Yeah.
See you.
Where are you going, Jeff?
Yeah.
When you write, right now you told me you're writing some stuff, thinking about maybe you hadn't been in the studio for a while. But what do you write when you think about things right now? Is there any particular vein you're writing in? Are you writing about yourself in business? Is there any, or does it just ideas inspire you and you start jotting stuff down?
Well,
how do you write? I guess
right now it's reflection.
Is it?
Yeah. Age. and a time and how little there is probably left, so that's my focus, and that's I talked to a friend of mine the other day, Butch Baker, and he and I talked about some songs, and of course Dean Dillon, he's a great friend of mine, and I've never cut I've never cut an album without a Dean Dillon song.
Really?
He and I have been friends for a long time, and in fact, I cut one of the very first songs of his that got cut was "What's to Do with You."
Yeah.
And that was years ago. So I never do a project without a Dean Dillon song, and that's just kind of when there's a little melancholy involved, and you think about the past, and could have done this, should have done this, or whatever, and really about how much you appreciate the fact that you got this far.
Absolutely.
So that's sort of the mindset.
If you're out getting to play golf as much as you want to, you've done okay. You know what I mean?
Well, I play a little more than some people would like me to, but we won't go into that.
Talking about, we've got your CD queued up here. We're going to play some stuff from it. But let's first talk about the show you got coming up. Going to be at the Union County Opry.
Yeah.
What is the date, Jesper? May 1, 2, 4th. I have 1, 2, 3. 4. I got
Saturday night.
Saturday
night, and I
go.
just got paid.
That works.
Fool about my money.
So you're going to be at the Union County Opry Saturday.
All right.
And going to have your full band, whole 9 yards. Do that again this year.
Yeah.
That went well last year.
It really did. We had a really good crowd.
Big fun.
Everybody really enjoyed the show. Great venue. And I had a lot of people make the comment, and even on my Facebook page and the night of the show, what a great venue it is. It's really a great theater.
Yeah.
At the high school. But we had a really good time, and I talked to Danny Cook, and he kind of puts everything together up there, and he said he'd been trying to get, which I didn't know. He said he'd been trying to get me up here for 10 years.
So he told us.
And I said, well, wish I'd known that. we could
have worked it out.
But I had a wonderful time, and we're going to have a good time this time. We got the whole band coming back, and of course my brother and sister, Ruthie and Kenny, going to come and sing, and got fortunate I've got a really good band, and they're a great bunch of musicians, and they're so much smarter than I am when it comes to music, but we get along pretty well.
Yes. I've told you before, I've spent every New Year's Eve with either you or T.G. Shepard up there at the Grand.
Yeah.
I was up there for I can't tell you how many years.
Yeah.
Me and you brought New Year's in together, and you didn't even know I was there.
Yeah, it was, we were there, I guess, 22 or 3 years.
I was there probably 10 of them anyway,
Yeah.
I guarantee it. So.
Yeah, we used to have some great fun. I mean, when he built that new entertainment area there, I mean, we used to get 2,600 people in there on New Year's Eve.
I used to be full. I can't remember it not being.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. It was kind of the place to be.
Yeah.
But he used to put those big billboards up all over town. And I remember they would stay up way
past New Year.
And they'd still be up in March. And I remember people come up to me and say, when are they going to take that billboard down? I'm tired of looking at that big head of yours.
Those were fun times.
Yeah,
those were good shows too.
Yeah, we had a lot of good times.
We're looking forward to you being out at the Opry. Talk a little bit about. We're going to play some of this, and I'm sure we've played some of it before. But talk a little bit about what we're getting ready to play. You recorded it for your mom.
Yeah, her birthday was yesterday, and
same as mine.
A lot of great people had birthdays yesterday, and you're one of them.
Thank you, sir.
But she would have been 99.
Okay.
Yesterday, but I was in the process of doing a project, and during that project, my mother passed away, and so I decided to dedicate it to her, and title the album "Sweet Memories." And so that's that's what we got queued up today, and I hope people will enjoy this. And just a tribute to her. She was a sweetheart, very talented, could sing, could write. She was great.
Here you go. This is the dedication and the song.
During the recording of this particular project, which took a little over a year or so, I had the misfortune of losing someone very near and dear to me, and that was my mother. And so I've chosen to dedicate this entire project to her memory. And while she had many favorite songs, these next two songs were two of her favorites, Sweet Memories and Amazing Grace.
My world is like a river, as dark as it is deep. Oh, night after night, the past slips in, and it gathers all my sleep. My days are just an endless stream of emptiness to be filled only by the fleeting moments of your memory. Into the silence of my dreams last night. Oh, she was running around from room to room. She was turning on each light. Oh, and her laughter spills like water from the river to the sea. I'm swept away with sadness, swept away. I'm clinging to her memory.
You tell me that's Boots Randolph playing the.
Yeah.
I was texting Jesper to see if he's here, and he's sitting right there next to it.
Vision going bad.
I was back this way. Boots Randolph, how'd you get these guys? Did you know Boots? How'd you get him?
Well, yeah, I'd met him. You know, he had a place down the alley for a long time, and I used to go down. I'd sit in with the band, what have you. And Kenny Jackson, my sax player, was always a big fan of Boots Randolph. And, of course, Kenny worked up Yakety Sax.
Mm-hmm.
So I had an opportunity to get Boots to come in and play on that project. And he said, sure, Con. He said, just tell me which ones you want me to play on and when to come in. I said,
pretty cool.
Okay.
I've got tickets. I tell you what I want to do, and Jesper, you might have to answer the phone for me. But if anybody out there would like a pair of tickets, I'll take the first caller, 865-457-1380. We'll give you a pair of tickets to this weekend's concert coming up on Saturday. It is the 4th at the Union County Opry. They do that up there at the high school, don't they? Right, Jesper?
Yes.
That's all right. So Con will be up there playing. What can we expect? What can we expect to see at the show, Con?
Well, just a lot of the same. A lot of Con.
Yeah, a lot of
yeah, we try to mix it up a little bit. I've been fortunate to be able to do some kind of up-tempo stuff that's a lot of fun to do.
Yep.
Written a few things that that people enjoy, and there'll be some stories to tell. Good stories. Some of them might be a little sad, but it's just going to be a whole bunch of Con and the family, and we're going. When you leave there, you'll know you've been sung to.
That's good. Again, that's what it's all about, the storytelling, and I know that people feel your music, and
yeah, that's what I take a lot of pride in that.
Absolutely.
I really do. People, I get a lot of stuff on Facebook where people say they tune everything out and put one of my CDs on, and that's it.
Yep. Just relax to it. You said earlier that you hadn't been in the studio in a while. What are you working up to get into the studio? What is it that would predicate you going in the studio? What is it? You just waiting on get enough material, or what is it?
Yeah, normally you don't go in until you kind of over prepare.
Yeah.
And you cull, and you don't know how anything's going to come off until you get in the studio and see how it goes. But the same group of guys that are going to be with me Saturday night are the ones I go record with.
Yeah.
So they're all great musicians. And my brother-in-law, Burton Akers, who's married to my sister Ruth, my sister, he kind of puts everything together. He's a musical genius. He's he knows what all them little scribbly things mean on the paper, and
he writes it all out.
And I know, and I can sing a note to him or tell him this is the way I feel like it needs to go, and he'll write it, but I can't write it down. But he's a genius, and so all the guys are going to be there, and in fact, the ones that I've recorded the last 5 albums, they're the same guys that's going to be with us. They're all wonderful musicians.
Should be a great, great, great night.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it, and I know a lot of folks are. How much longer how many more shows you want to get out and do? I mean, you were bragging here a minute ago that you're 79 years old.
Yeah.
Still going strong.
Well, I don't know how strong.
I think you're still going strong.
I don't know, Ron. I'll be honest with you. I've thought about it a lot lately. And I don't know. You
still love it, don't you?
I do love it. But I don't know. I might have I don't know, 3 or 4 more concerts in me. I don't know. It's hard to tell. I would like to do a few more concerts. I mean, I don't want to just roll over.
Now, how often, when you do the Gaither family things, I know I've seen you on a couple of those anyway. How often, when's the last time you done that?
It's been a long time.
Has it?
Yeah, it's been probably 4 years since we've done it. And So, but they were fun, you know. We did the family reunion things with Larry Black, and of course Gaither come in and kind of bought all that, you know.
You remember the first show you ever got paid to sing?
Yeah, I think it was that Nashville Music TV show.
Any show that first time you ever got paid to sing.
The first one was a concert here. I was on with I think it was the Gatlins, my very first show in Knoxville at the Coliseum.
Okay.
And they wanted me to be on. Somebody canceled out, and of course that time I was just kind of getting started. I was still on Prairie Dust Records, and I'd done a couple of songs on the radio, and people, you know, they were behind me 100%. And so I got to be on the show at the Coliseum, and I made all of $50.
Still
$50.
You'd have probably done it for free to be out there.
Oh, I would have, but I thought $50.
Hey,
I'm on my way.
And you were. That's great. I was talked to David and some other folks, and everybody seems to remember that first time they made a little bit of money, whether it's $10, $50, or $500. First time they got paid to do something they really enjoyed doing.
The first band I ever played in was Gene Hammock, and we played at the Eagles Club downtown, and I was that was in 1964.
Wow!
And that was my first paying gig.
Ever.
And at the time I was working at Standard Knitting Mill, and I think I was making like $1.37 an hour or something like that. And so he wanted me to come up and play for 3 hours, and it was I think it was $12 a night or $15 a night. Anyway, I was making
more than $1.35
based on the hour. I was making more than a whole lot of people, but of course it was only 3 hours long.
Sure,
it was only on Saturday night.
It's all right, still. Man, you've had and continue to have a great career. I'm glad that you're going to be out at the Opry. We always enjoy. You know, I could sit here. I could go on and talk to you for hours and hours just because I enjoy talking to you. Enjoy your music.
Talking to you too, Ron.
And you know, you've stayed true to your roots. You've stayed true to everything. You know that. Brought you to the dance, all right?
Yeah, I've tried. I have really tried to. That's, you know, I've had opportunities to do this, that, and the other. I remember toward the end of my recording career with a major label, before I thankfully got to record with Emmy Records.
Sure.
I was down there, and we'd done a song called "What in the World Am I Going to Do About You," which was a killer song.
Oh, yeah.
And it charted, and the radio was eating it up.
Yeah.
And anyway, I went in the studio with this producer who will remain nameless, and so they said, "We need you to sound a little younger." Or something, you know, something to that effect. They said, maybe we can turn the knobs here and kind of get. I said, wait just a minute, and that was the beginning of the end. And I said, here's what you get. And I pointed to myself, and I said, if that ain't good enough, you need to find you somebody else.
Yeah.
And they did. But that was fine with me.
That's all right. You stay true to what you are. Coming up in the I guess the 70s, it was really hard to mix the 70s, early 80s to mix rhythm and blues with country music.
Yeah, it was difficult, and the major labels had a hold on you at that time. You know, not like today. I mean, you got with the internet, you got immediate access.
Oh, back then it was distribution, all about distribution, and they had it.
Absolutely, and they had it.
Yeah.
And they owned the promotional companies. All promotion guys worked for them.
Yeah.
And you did what they said. No matter, I mean, they sign you for your creativity. And then when you try to be creative, they want you to do it another way.
Exactly.
And so it was just, you know.
That's our winner for tickets.
Yeah.
All right.
But
Christina Duff and Robert Phillips. There's our folks that are going to the concert, you'll see them there.
All right, be looking forward to seeing them.
There you go. We've got more to give away throughout the week here, too, folks. So make sure you listen in for that.
But I appreciate you taking the time for me this morning, man. I really do.
Let's play something else off here. Pick something else you want folks to hear.
Well,
and we need to tell folks, too, where they can get all your stuff, because you've still got all your records are available.
Yeah, it's at conhunley.com.
That's easy enough.
EMERecords.com.
There you go.
There's a song on the number 5 on this CD. It's an old song. It's written by Dickie Lee. It was a George Jones song that I always loved to sing. And a little story about that for you.
Okay.
I went up to see him. I had the opportunity to play with George Jones on numerous occasions, you know.
Yes, I remember here at Country Tonight Theater him calling you up on stage.
Yeah,
Cool.
That's exactly what that song was. Because I went up to see him, you know.
Yeah.
And somebody found out I was in the audience, and so one of the backstage people came and said, Nancy and George want you to come out to the bus. And I said, oh, God, I wouldn't even, I just wanted to come here and I think I had on Bermuda shorts.
Shorts and flip-flops.
Oh, Lord. And so I went out, and, of course, I didn't realize at the time, but Nancy was a big Con fan, you know, George's wife. Yeah.
That's awesome.
And so I went out and talked to him and all that stuff, and you know, and what a big fan I was of his and all that. And I, you know, said byes and went back in and sat down waiting on the show. So I'm sitting there, and I don't know, he might have been 30 minutes into the show, and he said, folks, we got a great friend here in the house tonight. And I thought, well, I wonder who else is here. And they said, old buddy Con Hunley sat down there. Said, get on up here, Con. And boy, my heart went in my throat, you know. And I said, oh, my Lord. He said, no, come on up here. I said, no, I just came to listen. I stood up and said, no. And the place is jam-packed, you know. He said, I said, get up here. So I went up there, and he said, what can we do? Let's do one. And I said, well, I would love to do She Thinks I Still Care With You, if that's all right. And he said, well, we got her going. Let's go. And I sang it, and it was a thrill. I'm such a fan. You know, he was to country music. Well, I don't know how to put this, but what Ray Charles was to
rhythm and blues.
Yeah, rhythm and blues. Yeah, I mean, Ray Charles had a big country following.
Oh, huge.
Yeah. But those two, if you could get in the middle of that vein with those two, you're there. You're there. Yeah.
Let's take a listen to it.
Just because I ask a friend about her. Oh, and just because I spoke her name somewhere. Just because I rang her number by mistake today. She thinks I still care. Just because I haunt the same old places where the memory of her lingers everywhere. Just because I'm not the happy guy I used to be. just because I ask a friend about her. Oh, just because I spoke her name somewhere, just because I saw her, then went all to pieces. She thinks I still care. Oh, she thinks I still care. Oh, I still care.
We were just talking about Country Music Association, named as one of the top 10 albums 2010, right?
That's right. Yeah.
I'm telling you, I get chill bumps when you sing.
Oh, Lord, well, thank you. I appreciate
just
that.
enjoy it.
I appreciate it. I really do.
A lot of us. I can tell you something. I can remember in high school sneaking out, going down to Fountain City, down to the bar down there. I don't know that you were still picking there on a regular basis, but your brothers were. Your family was.
Right.
I honestly can't.
I left there in 78. They finally told me, they said, because I was, I hung around because we were having a great time. Fun Thursday night that was the place to be.
Exactly.
And so finally, Zane Daniel, my buddy, and of course he helped negotiate my contract with Warner Brothers. He said, and Warner Brothers, they want me to get on the road, because we already cut some songs and stuff. And they said, you need to get on the road.
You need selling records.
You need to do showcases. You need to get out there. And so Zane came to me one night and he said, God, I know you love what you do, and I know you love this place, and I love singing with you over here. And I love playing with you. But he said, I just got a call from one of you big dogs at Warner Brothers, and they want you to get on the road. And he said, you need to get on the road. I said, okay, here we go.
Back then, did they put you together a tour, put you with somebody, with other artists and stuff? Did you have a set leg of a tour that you were on?
They did. Yeah, they did showcases back then. They would go into the major radio markets and find a club or somewhere where you could play, and they paid all expenses and all that stuff, and they even bought me a piano. I mean,
sure,
a whole lot of stuff. And we'd go around and do showcases. And then as our records got to be more prominent and played on country radio, I signed with a booking agency. And my first booking agency was APA in New York.
Oh, wow.
And they had Johnny Cash, Anne Murray, and the Gatlins. They had Steve Martin. They had a whole bunch of other artists as well. But so I got hooked up with the Gatlins, and I traveled with them for about a year and a half, opened for them. And then when I left APA, I went to the Halsey group, and they had Roy Clark, the Oak Ridge Boys, and a whole bunch of people. Well, the Oak Ridge Boys, I'd played some shows with them, and they just loved old Con. And so when I signed with Halsey, I got open for the Oak Ridge Boys, and that was just the beginning of their heyday.
Oh, wow.
And I got to play all over.
I bet you heard Elvira more times than most of us.
Oh, Lord, there's a bunch. But, I got to play places like Reunion Arena and Dallas, and all, just huge venues. And that was great exposure.
I was going to say, East Tennessee boy would walk out and see 10, 12,000 people. I bet that was pretty cool.
Oh, Lord. It was unbelievable. And then, I played, I think, Pontiac, Michigan, the big stadium there, they had like 80,000.
Wow.
Yeah, it's so I got to experience a lot of really great venues and things and other artists and really good people.
So besides golf and this concert, what's coming up next for Con Hunley?
Well, let's see. Besides pedal,
Pedal counts.
pedal that does count when you get older. But no, it'll be golf and playing a little bit. And I like to tinker with old cars. In fact,
You're tinkering with cars now?
I love old cars. I've got my dad's '82 Chevy S10. I drove it out here today. It looks brand new, and I remember I bought it for him brand new in 1982. He'd never had a new car, and it did my heart. It did my heart so good to be able to get him something, and he loved that truck. And of course, when he passed, I kept it, and I've been
That's pretty cool.
pedaling with it, and I've kept it in really good running shape. And like I said, it looks brand new.
You mechanically inclined?
Yes, I am. Yeah, I helped a friend of mine. In fact, I've got a 46 Ford that I pedal with all the time. It's a big deluxe sedan. But I have a friend of mine, George Robbins, build he helped me. My old 46 had set up so long that the wheel cylinders and everything frozen up, master cylinder and all that. And so I found out that he worked on 46 Fords. And in fact, he built 46 Fords frame off ground up, convertibles.
Oh, wow.
And so I called him. He said, Con, he said, I'll be honest with you. He said, I don't normally work on outside cars. He said, I just do my own stuff. And I said, well, I'm kind of between a rock and a hard place. I got a lot going on. But I said, if you could help me with this thing, I'd appreciate it. And he said, okay, bring it on over here. So I had the left front brake is the only brake that worked. And I drove that car
with one wheel brake
on back roads. one brake. And I got it over there, and I pulled it down there, and he shot me. He said, he got out and he checked. He said, how in the world did you get this car over here?
Slowly.
I said, very slowly. So anyway, he helped me get and he had a Mercury that he was building. I said, I'll tell you, and it was just a rust bucket, terrible. And I told him, I said, well, if you'll help me get my car straightened out, I'll help you with that old Mercury. And I did. But what I didn't know, that it was going to take 4 years and 5 months to get it built. But I went over every chance I got, and I'd work with him 8 hours, 10 hours, whatever it was, and we got it built. It's beautiful.
I tell you,
it's beautiful. He passed away, unfortunately, but he was a good guy, and you could take every part of a 46 Ford convertible or Mercury and just throw it out on the garage floor.
46 Ford, your dream car? Is that like one of your favorite cars?
Oh, yeah. And that was first model made after the war, and so, of course, I was born in 45.
Yeah.
But he could take it and put it together. No instruction, no books, no nothing. Unbelievable.
I've never been mechanically inclined so as that I could do. Today with the internet, I put a starter on my mower, on my riding mower this weekend. It's like, okay, just look at the phone. You know what I mean? It tells you exactly what to do.
Yeah, that's great about the internet, because there's nothing that's not on there.
Without that, it would have taken me 2 days to,
right.
You know what I mean, to figure out how to do it. But I'm not. That's not one of my gifts. I can do it if I have to.
Yeah.
But I need step-by-step instructions.
I really enjoy it. I enjoy tinkering with cars.
You just like to be out there doing it to just be on your own, or just the feeling of getting something done?
Yeah, just that, all the above. I just like tinkering with them and knowing I can do it.
Yeah.
I can't do anything on these modern cars and all that stuff, but on the older cars where you can actually get your hands down in there I love it. I enjoy it.
Good. Again, tell folks what they can look forward to coming up here this weekend, because if it ain't sold out, it'll get close. We did last year.
Yeah. 7 o'clock Saturday night, May the 4th.
Mm-hmm.
Con Hunley and family and friends. We're going to have a really good show, and I'm looking forward to seeing everybody. I had so much fun up there last year, and I'm looking forward to doing it again this year. You know.
You want to play something else off here? Why don't you pick a song or two? I want folks to. I want to play a few more off of this.
Well, let's see what we got here.
Encourage them to go to conhunley.com and grab. If you don't have this, get this CD. I've got it. I've got it on my phone too.
Well, I told you about Dane Dillon.
Yep.
And I don't do anything without a Dane Dillon song. And there's a song on here that he wrote with Tommy Rocco and John Northrup. It's called "Only Time Will Tell," which is a pretty good song. It's
what number is it?
It's number 11, I think.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Number 11.
Let's take a listen to it here. Only time will tell.
Everybody says it's gonna take a little time. Might as well get used to her running through my mind. Her memory brought me to my knees. When will I be back up walking? Only time will tell. It ain't talking. A lot of sleepless nights, I'm sure, lying up ahead. Wonder when the night will come when I lay down in bed. And her memory finally decides to stop calling. Only time will tell, but it ain't talking. Only time will tell when I will finally be free. But so far it hasn't spoke a single word to me. Wonder when the pain will end, all my tears will stop falling. Only time will tell, but it ain't talking. Only time will tell when I will finally be free. But so far it hasn't spoke a single word to me. Wonder when the pain will end, all my tears will stop falling. Only time will tell, it ain't talking. Everybody says it's gonna take a little time.
The Union County Opry welcomes East Tennessee's own Con Hunley with special guest Southern Spirit, Saturday, May 4th at 7 p.m. at the Patriot Auditorium in Maynardville.
Oh, girl, I'd be in trouble if you left me now. I don't know where to look for love. I just don't know how.
Con Hunley is loved by millions, and he'll be singing Saturday, May 4th at the Union County Opry in Maynardville with special guest Southern Spirit.
I pray, Lord, just let me get back to Tennessee.
Don't miss Con Hunley and Southern Spirit Saturday, May 4th at 7 p.m. at the Patriot Auditorium, 150 Main Street in Maynardville. Doors open at 5, the auditorium at 6. For tickets, call 865-556-4255 or go online, unioncountyopry.com.
All right, guys. See, one of the great things about being in this business, I got Con signing his record for me. I can make folks sign their records for me because I get them here at the station. Hey, brother, you know you're welcome here anytime. Anything you've got going on, I want you to come by and let us be part of it anytime.
I certainly appreciate you letting me come in and talk to you today. It's always a pleasure, and once again, I am so appreciative of you guys for what you've done for me in my career and playing and spinning all the records. And I know, I'm kind of one of the old guys now, but I just appreciate you playing the music and keeping my name out there.
We always will. Are you playing just enough that you want to right now, whether it's once a year, 10 times a year, whatever? Do you want to be out more? Do you not want to be out? What do you music-wise?
Well, I like it. I tell everybody, they say, well, you playing much on the road? And I said, well, if it's close and the money's good, I go. But I'm, probably getting on the road again like I was before, East Coast to West Coast, north to south. I don't know that I could ever do that again. I'm not saying I wouldn't.
No.
But I don't know, the only person still doing that, as far as I know, is Willie Nelson. And I think he turned 91 today.
He did. He turned 91 today.
Yeah. So, but I do a lot of corporate things and stuff. So I'm going to keep after it, and as long as it's close.
Yeah. Our buddy Brian Orr up at Country Night Theater he started. I believe he's in his 4th or 5th year now, doing that summertime. He'll bring in 5 or 6 acts up there, and he's done real well doing that up there. So I didn't know if you'd played Sevierville, Gatlinburg, or any of those.
Well, it's been a while. Last time I played up there was Country Tonight.
Yeah.
In fact, I think who did I do it with? Anyway, it's been a while since I played Country Tonight Theater.
That's a nice little theater.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's
a great theater.
We look forward to seeing you this weekend. And like I said, I've told you before, it's an open door, whether it's here, across the hall, Merle, or Praise, or whatever, anything that we can do.
Thank you.
To help we enjoy playing your music. And hope that it helps you when we do. Because we get just as much out of it as you do.
It is a big help. And every time I'm on out here, the Facebook page just goes crazy, so it's great. It's great, and I truly appreciate you taking the time to let me be on with you today, Ron. And
buddy.
Happy birthday again. I sent you a little blurb.
God, thank you.
Last night, but
I haven't been on Facebook yet.
Yeah, but I figured you'd party hardy last night.
Well, cleaning out the garage.
You cleaned up the garage. But if you're really into that sort of thing, I've got a garage.
I'll be by later. Con Hunley, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, brother.
Have a good day, buddy.
SCU Bus Lines, LLC, is looking for professional drivers that are seeking to drive locally in Claxton, Clinton, Marlow, and the Powell communities. CDL Class B with P and S endorsements are preferred, but training can be provided for the right candidate. Driving for SCU requires the utmost respect for DOT regulations and the passengers it transports, a pre-employment drug screening, background check, annual MVR request, and random drug screening throughout employment are required. You must be at least 25 years old to apply. Call 865-556-8509 or email marvin@prioritybus.com. That's marvin@prioritybus.com.
You can't do any better. Con Hunley. Tickled to death that he comes in and talks to us. And if we need something at the station or whatever, he's always happy to help us, and we appreciate that. So hope you all go see him in concert. And we'll be giving away tickets. Like I said, our winners this morning. Congratulations to Christina Duff. She got a pair of tickets, and Robert Phillips got a pair of tickets this morning. I'll give away some more tomorrow if you're here, and I hope you will be. And again, you can get more information. You can go to Union County Opera. You can look that up. You can go to our website. I think we've got it all on our website, too, for the show. Get tickets. Or you can just listen to me, and I'll be giving tickets away. That works, too, doesn't it? Any of the above. All right, guys, have a fantastic day. Thanks so much for hanging out with us here this morning on the Country Club McMorning Show, Monday morning edition. Ask Your Neighbor. Thank you, Con Hunley, for coming in. Thank you all for tuning in. You know, back in the day, Brushy Mountain State Pen was not a place you wanted to be. But today, it's a place you just can't miss. Today, you can tour and see just what it was like to be in Brushy Mountain State Penitentiary. Take a self-guided tour. You'll meet with former prison guards and former inmates that can answer all your questions. Get a map of the grounds and visit more than 30 stations. This is an experience you're never going to forget. And if you prefer, you can take a private tour led by a guide, available for groups of at least 15. Don't forget to check out the distillery tour. Enjoy a meal at the warden's table. Tour our museum and our theater with the Brushy Mountain documentary running twice an hour. And of course, stop by our gift shop to take something home to remember your day. General admission tickets can be purchased at the gift shop during business hours, and they offer senior and military discounts. Go online to tourbrushy.com for more information or to book your tour. Tour hours are Tuesday through Saturday, 10:30 a.m. to 7 p.m. with the last tour starting at 5 o'clock.
Thank you for listening to AM 1380 WYSH and Ask Your Neighbor. Make sure you tune in at 10 a.m. each day, Monday through Friday, right here on AM 1380 WYSH and BBB TV 12.